Hello, my name is Craig Comish, and I'm the 2023 Turquoise United Symposium Chair. For those of you that don't know, Turquoise United is an annual conference centered around turquoise. This year, the Turquoise United Conference will be held in Albuquerque, New Mexico from August 10th through 12th. Registration is currently open at turquoiseunited.com. This year's conference will feature several different events, including a 4-session symposium. As the chair for the symposium, I have the privilege of working with some incredible presenters and panelists. Today, I'll be interviewing Alexander Goodsuhm about his symposium session entitled Arkansas Turquoise, a geologic evaluation of the Mona Lisa mine. Alexander, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Craig.
So, Alexander, what excites you about this year's Turquoise United?
Oh, well, there's a lot of reasons to be excited. This is actually going to be my first Turquoise United, so I'm pumped for all aspects of the experience. And I think for me, that starts with the wide range of people that are going to be there. So I'm relatively new to the turquoise industry and to learning about turquoise, and excited to meet miners, dealers, and some of the leaders of the turquoise industry here. But I can't say I'm also not excited about the stones themselves, because at gem shows I try and seek out kind of the turquoise dealers to see what they've got. But I'm really excited to see just turquoise and the best of the best that's going to be here at Turquoise United. And hopefully I'll get to see some of the rare material from some of these southwestern mines that only produced a little bit in their entire history. So I'm excited for that. I've also never been to the Turquoise Museum, so that's definitely on the list. I heard it's an 8-block walk, so I think that's doable.
Absolutely. And I think last year several people believed that one of the samples that one of the miners brought was the sine qua non or top of that particular mine that they had ever seen. So, who knows what'll show up this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So tell us more about what your session is going to be about.
Yeah, so I'm going to be speaking about the Mona Lisa mine. And as I'm sure you can guess, the Mona Lisa mine produces turquoise. And what makes this site unique is that the mine's located in Arkansas. And as someone who's driven through Texas, east to west, can tell you that Arkansas is a long way away from the traditional American turquoise producing states like New Mexico or Arizona or Nevada. In fact, I think a lot of people would classify Arkansas as being in the southeast, so a
Yes.
completely different region of the United States compared to the Southwest. So turquoise from this region is definitely rare. And very little is known about this mine throughout its history. So I tried to research as many aspects of the site as I could. So that includes the history of the mine, or as much as I could piece together. And I did study geology, so I'll go into the geologic environment that allowed turquoise to mineralize at this location in Arkansas. And that'll include kind of a discussion about turquoise group minerals. And that's especially important in Arkansas, because there's some skepticism from even Arkansas geologists about what the site might be. And finally, also go into a little bit of the lead and strontium isotopes of Mona Lisa turquoise, and that provides kind of a signature for this type of turquoise. And it actually, the methods that I use could have further use applied to turquoise from any deposit around the world, and maybe could serve as a data point in the future in a discussion about determining turquoise origin, which I know some other symposiums will touch on as well.
That sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing about that. As a fact, I live in Arkansas right now, so I'm very curious about that. I know something about the diamond mining here, but
Yeah, Murfreesboro. Yeah.
I'd never really known about the turquoise. So that's great. So what inspired you to propose this particular topic?
Well, I guess I'll start with how I came to the topic myself. So I had the opportunity to study the Mona Lisa mine as part of my master's research at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville in geology. And this project was really what piqued my interest into turquoise, because I had the opportunity to work with the mine owner and the mining company to gain access to this site to then do as much research as I could into what's going on here. And I think it's important based on that motivation then to share what I learned of that site with a broader audience, because that's kind of the purpose of science. And it's certainly possible that dealers who are there or will be there in the future will encounter turquoise from the Mona Lisa mine. And I think it's important to have some sort of understanding of that material so you know that you can trust or value that material properly. And I was lucky enough to meet Jodan and Jacob Lowry when they visited GIA relatively recently from the Turquoise Museum, and I'd also read a few of their books, which are great. And when they mentioned the opportunity to present kind of in a symposium style setting to a turquoise specific audience, I thought that was a great chance to lay out my research and also get feedback from people who've studied this their whole lives and have dedicated their lives to turquoise.
Well, that sounds really interesting. And so what would the audience expect to take away from your session?
Yeah, well,
what would you hope they would take away?
Yeah, I would hope, I am prepping my presentation in a way that it's hopefully going to be understandable and accessible to any audience. Even though we'll get into the science, I do hope to build the foundation so that everyone will be able to follow along with my methodology in studying this mine. And from this session, I think you should expect to be exposed to aspects of the Mona Lisa mine, which is this unique site in Arkansas that you couldn't get that exposure anywhere else right now. Currently, none of this information is available publicly. Articles, at least one article is in progress, but currently you can't access this information another way. And this better understanding of the mine that could help a dealer to help value turquoise from the mine. It could help a consumer decide if they want turquoise from this rare locality. And I'll tell you another thing that I expect for myself is that I expect to be stumped with someone's question. Is that because I expect that all these turquoise experts, I'm sure that they will have questions that I have never even thought about. And I hope that'll help myself also to develop new paths to research and a greater understanding of the stone in general. So yeah, I'm very excited.
That does sound exciting, and I've spent some time working in the medical research arena and everything. So I share your scientific curiosity, from being able to look across the multiple disciplines that'll be there at Turquoise United this year. And I think a lot of times the dialogue is the better part sometimes of our presentations. I've done some in the past and learned from it and walked away really feeling like maybe the audience was involved, and I also walked away with some great information as well.
So, definitely.
Well, thank you, Alex. We're really getting excited about this year's conference, and specifically the symposium part of the conference. And for those of you out there who haven't had a chance to register for this year's Turquoise United, make sure you get your ticket soon. Again, that's at turquoiseunited.com. Again, I'm Craig Komish, and thank you from the entire Turquoise United team. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again when I speak with Dr. Aaron Pahlke from GIA about this session at the symposium. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should watch my interview with Jodan Lowry about his session in fingerprinting turquoise.